My name is Robert Helenius, the Nordic Nightmare.
Robert, you literally fought the weekend.
Yeah.
You're fighting again against
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua. Why did you say yes to this offer?
Crazy times, huh? Well, after the last fight, I knew it wasn't be a big fight, my last fight. I knew the guy, but I think after the fight, my manager came up to me and said, "Hey, I need to talk to you a little bit." Like 5 minutes after the fight, I had still my wraps on and everything, you know, I was pouring sweat. He said, like, "Yeah, we got an offer and to fight next week, and are you up for it?" I was like, "No, I need to take a vacation with my kids, you know." And he was like, "Yeah, but think about it, think about it." I was like, 5 minutes later, I made a video for Eddie Hearn and said, like, "Let's do this. This is what we do, Vikings," you know. So, of course, it was nervosity and everything was the emotions was roller coasting back then. But I've come to terms with it, and we had a good training camp behind us. So I don't feel the slightest in any way unprepared. If I would choose myself, I would give it still a month so I could do sparring with proper sparring partners and stuff like that. But otherwise, I feel ready.
In your professional career, have you ever had two fights so close to each other?
Not in a professional career. I think probably 2 weeks in between in the beginning. But I have a long amateur career. So has Joshua. But I think I was 12 years amateur or something like that. So I have the experience to fight even every second day sometimes as an amateur. So it's not a big deal.
There'll be people thinking, health-wise, you're in a fight the weekend, you're going to be fighting the following weekend.
Yeah.
Do you feel ready for that next challenge? Anthony Joshua, not exactly a small challenge.
You say, yeah. No, of course, you know. But like health-wise, I was healthy after the fight. I didn't get hit anyhow, and the fight only lasted for 3 rounds, and it was a good warm-up for this fight, I think. and you do sparring as well. You get hit in the sparring as well. In sparring, anything can happen. So you know, I feel good.
As you know, as everybody else knows, you weren't supposed to be in this fight, but you have an opportunity to cause an upset.
Yeah.
Why do you think you can do that?
Well, I'm big and I punch hard, and I have Viking blood in me, and nobody remembers a coward.
But despite that, you haven't been able to train properly for AJ. He hasn't been able to train properly for you. Who do you think has the better advantage?
Well, I don't know. Probably he, because his training camp ended last week, and when I had a fight, and my training camp ended 1 week before because I was just doing the preparation for the last fight the last week. So now we put on some heavy training Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, probably even Wednesday, some bag works today. So and then we're gonna cool out and just do some pads and bring us back to where we were last fight. Yeah.
And of course, as the underdog, people assume that AJ will be victorious.
Of course.
When you come into a fight like this, knowing that, how does that impact you in your preparation?
Well, I have to say I haven't been watching news or reading papers or even social media for that matter for many years, because I think that distracts you. I think talking to people, physically being there, and that's much more important. And I don't want to lose sight of what's important in life. So yeah. I don't think about that stuff, and of course, you know, the odds are against me. Of course, you know, he's been up there really long. He's been heavyweight champion, and I'm not. And my last fight, my big fight, I got knocked out in the first round. So of course he has the odds, but I like being the underdog.
And boxing's obviously the sport where one punch can change a person's fortunes. Andy Ruiz Jr. was able to do it.
Exactly.
If it goes that way for you,
I tend to say when.
When it goes that way
Yeah.
to you, as you say, what is your boxing dream as you get later and later into your career? Do you still...
Yeah, well, my boxing dream has always been to be world champion, and I've been changing that for probably 15 years. So when I got this opportunity, of course, after last fight, I was doubting myself really long. Even I didn't know if I'm gonna continue to box, because I also want to have a healthy life after boxing. But when this opportunity came, I was like, yeah, this is the perfect chance for me to show I belong there, in the top.
And how difficult is it for a boxer when you get knocked out in the first round, Deontay Wilder, and you go home to your family and they're seeing you on the canvas rather than with your hand aloft?
I think it's probably harder for the kids, seeing Dad lying there. Of course, they were really sad when I came home and asked if everything is okay and everything. But like everything was fine though, so it was just a knockdown. Of course, but I don't think in those terms, because when you go up in the ring, you have to be ready that anything can happen. So you can't be afraid. That's not how you box good.
And if someone who tunes into the fight hasn't seen you fight before, doesn't know anything about you in the build-up, what type of a man are you?
In the ring?
In general?
In general. Well, I like the outdoors, forest, hunting, fishing, and training my kids. I tend to like places where not a lot of people are. So that's why I like the nature.
But then
and my dog, of course,
And how does it make you feel when you walk into the arena and there's tens of thousands of people there? In this case, probably to see you get knocked out.
Yeah, I know. Probably the same feeling when I went to New York first time against Kolnaki, when there were also many tens of thousands of people wanting to see me be knocked out. I'm gonna go there and silence the stadium.
Am I looking at the person who's going to get their hand raised on Saturday night?
Yeah, I tend to stay like this in the ring.
When you look back in your career, when you've retired, and you're watching the fights with your children and they're looking up at that screen, how do you want them to see their father?
Difficult question. I hope I can make them proud, and that I can inspire them to do better in life in some way, in any way they are wanting to move their life to, that they have the ambition to do that.
Of course, the reason you got this fight is because of Dillian's adverse findings. He's not the first boxer to fail a drug test. Do you believe boxing is a clean enough sport right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't comment on that. It's not always fair. If I would be caught in Finland, I wouldn't be fighting for my whole life. In Finland, they take it really seriously. So if they would find something in my blood or on my pee, they would lynch me, and I couldn't show my face in the cities anymore, or people would hate me. And it's crazy how it's not similar here or anywhere else in the world. Maybe Sweden or Norway, probably, but it's not fair. But who said life should be fair? I have my Viking blood.
That's enough to push you.
Yeah.
Okay. Saturday night, London at the O2. When you walk out into that arena, You may hear a couple of cheers. There are some Finns in the capital. But you may hear a couple of boos because obviously Anthony Joshua has a lot of following, has a lot of fans who are expecting to see a completely different fighter make their way to the ring. What's going to be going through your mind in those last few moments as you wait to touch gloves and begin?
Well, it's difficult to say, but of course, every power, every cell in my body is gonna think, fight, fight, fight.
And how will you drown out that sound?
It gives me power. I can show them they're wrong.
In terms of you and AJ, have you crossed paths? Have you?
Yeah, we've been sparring back in the day, I think when he was going against Klitschko. I'm not sure about that, what fight he was preparing for, but yeah.
How was that sparring?
It was good, it was good. It was back when I think I even, I don't remember how long, 2016, 2017, something about that.
And do you use the knowledge of that sparring into this fight, or is it so far away?
It's so far away, I can't really remember. I just know it was similar, like really good sparring, and he liked my sparring, I liked his sparring, and we, a good guy.
And for the fans who aren't professionals, when it comes to sparring, just how much do you hold back that's different to an actual fight? Obviously, you've got the head game,
it depends on the opponent in sparring, of course. Sometimes you go full speed, but you have bigger gloves. But I don't know, like usually maybe 70-80%, something like that.
Cool. Today's obviously Wednesday. The fight's Saturday. During that time, what will you do to prepare?
Some pad works, some bag work, and some running and mental training, of course, a lot to refocus on Anthony style.
And who do you speak to before the fight? Do you have a ritual of ringing up?
Probably my father. He prays for me always, and I call him like a couple of hours before the fight, every fight.
Well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Wish you a healthy fight.
Thank you.